Years after the hacking scandal that shook the world of print journalism to its core, the launch of a new self-regulatory body by the UK's main national newspapers was a low-key affair. But the passions and the criticism that the new Independent Press Standards organisation evokes ensure that the new body has its work cut out for it. Following protests outside of its office as it launched yesterday by the Hacked Off campaign, the head of the new self-regulatory body offered these words.
I say it's really important to listen to them. I say it's really important to understand their anger at the time they've had to wait for independent regulation. And one's got to understand their disappointment. They were promised that what Leveson recommended would happen by the government, not by IPSO, and they are then going to be very understandably suspicious of what we're going to do.
IPSO claims that it is the body that is best placed to tackle corruption and wrongdoing in the print industry. However, its offices behind me are the same offices occupied by the Press Complaints Commission, the body that it is replacing. So critics are asking, can this new body be any different?
Well, we're looking for new premises, and we will move to new premises as soon as we can. So far as the difference, we have radically different powers to those that the former PCC could exercise. We have different powers in relation to adjudicating on complaints. We have different powers in relation to investigation. People who haven't had a voice, who feel oppressed as victims of press abuse, can come to us and will be protected by us.
While most newspapers have signed up to the new regulatory body, notable exceptions include The Guardian, The Independent, and The Financial Times, which is looking to set up its own internal regulator. For Hacked Off, the pressure group representing victims of phone hacking by the News of the World, this new industry regulator lacks the clout to truly enforce the fairness they want.
Because it is effectively the same old story of the press setting up an organisation which will allow it to mark its own homework, to be its own judge and jury, so that, the implication being, of course, that members of the public who have complaints about newspaper coverage, harmful, damaging newspaper coverage, will not get fair treatment under IPSO. The system is there to protect newspaper proprietors and editors, not to protect the public.
Amongst all of this is the issue of fair representation, which many members of the Muslim community have raised over the years. I put this to the head of IPSO.
Well, I can't discuss specific cases that took place before IPSO started on Monday. But I'm not avoiding the question. It's a really important question, particularly important to your viewers. I quite understand and fear the unnecessary connection between events and the fears of Islamophobia.
Leveson heard evidence about Islamophobia and expressed concern. If there is a question of fairness or a question of imbalance, this is not about the expression of opinions. There's nothing in Leveson stopping people expressing opinions, but about factual content and about fairness of treatment of people. Those things should be addressed effectively, and that's what IPSO will not and cannot do.
Nathaneal Amos-Sansam, The Report, Islam Channel.